Hello, beautiful soul, and welcome back to the Light and Shadow podcast. I'm Grey, Reiki Master Soul Alchemist, seer, and your guide in this sacred space, where we don't just talk about healing, we embody it. Here, remember that every word, every breath, every truth spoken with love is an act of creation. Whether you've been walking this path with me for the beginning or this is your first time here, I honor you. You weren't gotten here by accident. Something in you is ready to be heard, to be seen, to be expressed. And before we begin, a gentle reminder. This podcast is a spiritual transmission and a space for self reflection. It is not a substitute for therapy or professional mental health support. If you're doing deep emotional work, I encourage you to seek both sacred and psychological support. For those ready to deepen this journey, you can explore my offerings through the link below. The Grey Ethereus Academy for initiates ready to master shadow alchemy and energetic embodiment, and private one-on-one intuitive coaching for personalized soul guidance. And if you'd love daily reminders and transmissions, you can find me on TikTok at Grey Ethereus, where this work continues in smaller, sacred doses every day. Take a slow breath in and exhale, because today's transmission is about one of the most sacred acts of power we possess: the voice, the alchemy of expression, how to speak your truth without fear, how to move from silence or explosion into conscious communication, how to give your emotions a voice without losing yourself or wounding another. Your words are spells, your voice is vibration, and when it aligns with truth, it becomes medicine. This is not just about communication, it is about liberation. So take one more breath and let's begin the journey. There are two ways the human voice fractures: through silence and through explosion. Both are born from the same wound, the fear that your truth will cost you love. From a young age, many of us are taught that expression is dangerous. Don't talk back, keep the peace, don't make a scene. And so, little by little, we swallow words that wanted to live. We trade authenticity for approval. We confuse compliance with safety. That swallowed truth doesn't disappear, it ferments. It lives in the body, tightening your chest, burning your throat, looping through your mind at night. It becomes anxiety, resentment, exhaustion, the internal noise of all the things you never said. And then, when silence can no longer hold the pressure, it erupts. The voice returns, but now sharpened by years of suppression. Words come out as the fire, defense, or blame. You say too much, too fast, and walk away from the conversation wondering, why did I lose myself again? But here's the truth. Neither suppression nor explosion is authentic expression. One hides your truth, the other weaponizes it. Both are reactions to disconnection. Real expression, alchemical expression, is not about controlling emotion, but channeling it. It's learning to speak from your center, not your wound. To use your voice as a bridge, not a blade. Silence may have once protected you, but it is not your destiny. You were not born to whisper in your own life. You were born to resonate, to let your truth ring through the spaces that once silenced you. Every time you silence your truth, you create a fracture in your energy field, a small separation between who you are and who you pretend to be. The human psyche can only hear that fracture for so long. What begins as holding your tongue for peace becomes living a half-life in the name of keeping others comfortable. You start editing yourself mid-sentence. You smile when you want to cry. You agree when every cell in your body is saying no. This is the shadow of unspoken truth, the quiet corrosion of authenticity. And the deeper you suppress what needs to be expressed, the more it begins to speak through other channels. Your body, your mood, your energy. The throat tightens, the heart feels heavy. You feel unseen, even in rooms full of people who claim to love you. Because how can anyone truly see you if you never let them hear you? Silence becomes the cage that comfort built. But truth, even when it trembles, is liberation. Here's the paradox. Truth doesn't destroy connection. It purifies it. When you speak honestly, with compassion, not blame, the people who are meant to walk with you will rise to meet that frequency. The ones who can't were never aligned with your soul's full expression anyway. Your voice is a mirror of your sovereignty. When you speak your truth, you remind the universe that you are ready to live as yourself, not your shadow. Expression is not about volume. It's about vibration. It's not about being loud. It's about being real. The moment you give your truth permission to breathe, everything begins to fall away. To speak consciously is to bridge the gap between emotion and awareness. It is not about filtering yourself into perfection. It is about allowing truth to move through you with presence. When most people communicate, they are actually reacting. They speak from the wound, not from wisdom. From defense, not from discernment. From fear of being misunderstood, rather than trust in their own clarity. But conscious expression invites a new paradigm. It says, I can hold my truth and hold compassion. I can speak with power without turning my voice into a weapon. I can be honest without being harsh. This is the balance of alchemy, fire with grace. Conscious expression begins with awareness. What emotion is truly beneath my words, you may ask? Is it hurt, disappointment, fear, love, grief, or is it longing? When you can name what you're feeling, you can guide your voice rather than let the feeling guide you. Then comes responsibility. What do I actually want to communicate? Do I want connection or to prove I'm right? Do I want to be heard or to punish? This clarity determines whether your words heal or harm. And finally, embodiment. Ask yourself, can I stay present in my body as I speak? Because the nervous system doesn't lie. If your shoulders tighten and breath shortens, your words will carry tension no matter how kind they sound. So before you speak, breathe, ground, touch your heart. Let the truth move through your body before it leaves your mouth. Your words become spells of creation when they are rooted in presence. You no longer speak to win, you speak to align. You no longer fear being misunderstood, because your integrity is louder than any projection. Expression is sacred. When you master conscious communication, your voice becomes a living prayer, one that shapes the energy of every room you enter. Expression is not just something you do, it is something you become. Before your words ever reach the air, they live as energy in the body. If the body feels unsafe, the voice closes. If the body feels shame, the words stumble. So to speak your truth clearly, you must first create safety within your own system. Here are some sacred practices to help you embody your authentic voice. Your voice rides the breath, and breath only flows freely when you feel safe. Before a difficult conversation, place one hand on your chest, one on your belly. Inhale through your nose for 4 counts. Exhale through the mouth for 6. Feel the breath melt tension in your throat, jaw, and heart. And say to yourself silently, it is safe to speak. It is safe to be seen. Do this until your breath feels like an ally again. Write down the truth you've never said to a parent, to a lover, a friend, or even yourself. Read them aloud to the candle flame. Let every word that trembles from your mouth be honored as sacred release. When you are done, burn or bury the paper whispering, "My truth is no longer my burden. It is my liberation." This isn't about confrontation. It is about energetic clearing. Another practice is to stand before a mirror. Look into your eyes and speak your truth out loud, not performatively, but intimately. Say what your soul has been waiting to hear. I forgive you. I love you. I deserve more. Do this until your voice no longer shakes, until the reflection looking back feels like recognition, not resistance. Another practice is humming, chanting, toning, or singing. All of these awaken your throat chakra. Sound is vibration. Vibration is liberation. If you can't yet speak your truth in words, start with sound. Let your body remember what resonance feels like before your mind tries to explain it. And the last practice is, before entering any conversation, pause and ask, am I speaking from fear or from love? Do I want to connect or do I want to control? Is my body open or armored? When you speak from love, connection, and openness, even firm boundaries become grace. Even difficult truths can be delivered like medicine. True expression is not loud. It is clear. It is not performance. It is presence. It is not about winning the argument, but about staying aligned with your own soul while you speak. Your words become sacred when they are no longer about defense, but about devotion to truth. To speak your truth is one thing. To let it be heard is another initiation entirely. Because once your words leave your lips, they no longer belong only to you. They enter the space between you and another soul. And that space is unpredictable. This is why so many of us silence ourselves before the first word forms. Not because we don't have truth, but because we fear the echo that may follow it. The fear of being misunderstood, the fear of being judged, the fear of being dismissed, laughed at, or left. But here's the alchemy of courage. You do not speak to control how your truth will be received. You speak because your soul cannot remain silent any longer. Every time you speak from the I, from authenticity rather than performance, you strengthen your energetic sovereignty. Your voice becomes a declaration to the universe. I trust myself enough to be seen. And yes, not everyone will understand your language. Some will project their wounds onto your words. Some will hear through the filter of their own fear. But the right ones, the aligned souls, will recognize your vibration instantly. They will meet your truth not with resistance, but remembrance. Courage does not mean you never tremble. It means you tremble, but speak anyway. Because the truth that remains unspoken becomes a ghost, haunting your energy, replaying in your mind, weighing in your chest. But the truth that is voiced, that is witnessed, becomes light. When you dare to be heard, you liberate not only yourself, but everyone who is still whispering in the dark. Your courage becomes a permission slip for others to rise in theirs. And that, beloved, is the real alchemy of expression. When your voice becomes medicine for you first, and then for the world. Beautiful soul, you have walked through the fire of silence and emerged with sound. You have remembered that your voice is not just for speaking, it is for creating. Every word you speak is a spell. Every truth you honor is liberation. The alchemy of expression is not about saying everything, it is about saying what matters with presence and love. It's about reclaiming your right to exist audibly, boldly, unapologetically in your own frequency. So as you leave the sacred space, I invite you to carry this truth with you. You are not here to silence yourself for peace. You are here to speak peace into existence. You are not here to dilute your truth. You are here to deliver it as medicine. You are not here to fit in. You are here to vibrate in resonance with your soul. And remember, your voice doesn't need permission. It needs practice. So practice speaking from the body, from breath, from being. Let every word you utter become an act of alignment. If this episode stirred something in you, I invite you to explore the paths that deepen this work through one-on-one intuitive coaching. And if you're ready to fully embody this path, to step into mastery of your energetic and spiritual power, join me inside Grey Ethereus Academy, our mystery school devoted to shadow alchemy, soul remembrance, and the art of sacred leadership. For daily transmissions, healing insights, and truth-telling reminders, follow me on TikTok at Grey Ethereus, where we continue this sacred conversation every day. And next time, on the Light and Shadow podcast, we descend into the alchemy of surrender, how to release the illusion of control, trust the divine timing of your path, and find freedom, not in forcing life to bend to your will, but in aligning with its flow. Because surrender is not giving up. It's coming home to grace. Until then, beloved, breathe, speak truth, stay open. The world needs your voice. And remember, the magic is already within you. You are more powerful than you know. Until next time.